How you doing? Welcome back, Jean-Paul here. So in this video I want to do an unboxing video from a 10-day cleanse which has been coming from the company Platinum Health Europe, or in the US is being called Purium Health. And the reason why I do this has everything to do with what I've been doing so far. So before I go into the unboxing, I actually want to share a bit of my personal story of why I am doing this, what I am hoping for and what I'm expecting, and perhaps if this is something you would like to try it out yourself. So over the next 10 days, basically what I want to do is I want to share my own personal journey and experience of doing this 10-day cleanse. Is it worth it, especially when you are in the UK? If you're in the US, you're lucky. If you're in mainland Europe, you're also a little bit luckier. But when you're in the UK, is it really worth it? And I'm going to cover it up. Right, why I'm doing this? Especially, first of all, once again, my apologies that it has been taking, once again, 1 or 2 months since the last time I uploaded my video. This time is a little bit different. Right now I'm not in the woodlands, no, I'm not in the hills, but I'm basically here in my kitchen here in Southwest London. Because what I've been doing so far has everything to do with getting out in nature, right? Getting out in nature to reflect on life, to re-energize, rejuvenate, and become mindful of everything that we do. Getting out in nature is basically my sanctuary for, let's say, healing. Because this is a little bit my story, if you're new here. 2010, I hated my corporate job. I moved into the referral marketing, affiliate marketing space since 2010. It took me 2.5 years before actually I started to make money in a home-based business. I had around 800 customers who were paying like a monthly recurring commission, which was about 5 figures a month. Then everything crashed down. Met my current partner. I moved to London. I ended up in a depression, burnout. I came with a lot of shame, guilt, regret of letting down so many people in my organization. So then I noticed, like, wait a minute, I gotta go and figure some shit out within myself. I attended all sorts of personal development, spiritual healing workshops, like 1.5 years of spirit coaching. In 2018 I completed Reiki 1, Reiki 2, Reiki Master. I've been into shamanic healing and chest drawer healing, soul retrieval, you name it. And it's all beautiful. You open up your mind, you open up your consciousness, is that you start to realize, we are much more than a physical body. We have a spiritual body, we have a mental, emotional body, and through the emotions we can reach our spiritual body, our light body. Well, what happened, raising your consciousness, if you're on this journey as well, what happened is that you're increasing your sensitivity. Now, as you can recognize, let's say as a highly sensitive individual, or an empath, if you would like to call yourself like that, is that comes with both as a gift and a burden. The gift is, of course, like hyper awareness. I've made another video about that, all about my channel. Like, what if you have a hunter mind while trying to survive in a farmer society? Meaning, when you have farmer genes, now in our normal society we call it ADD or ADHD, is that you are hypersensitive, hyper aware to everything that's currently going on. Because as a hunter, you have to be alert and aware of everything that is going on in the woods, in the nature, in the forest. Like, could it be an animal you could hunt, or would it be a predator that will eat you alive? If you have this kind of hyperactivity in the mind, now when you're living in a city, modern society, that has like 100 times amplified. So what happens is when you're hypersensitive, it's like your whole nervous system is constantly getting bombarded with everything that is going on in our outside world. The noise, the pollution, and worst of all, the guts. And that's exactly what I want to share with you or talk about in this video. The gut. I go out in nature, I surround myself in the atmosphere of nature, I call it nature therapy, forest bathing, whatever you want to call it, mindfulness in the woods, hiking, and I feel energized, I feel rejuvenated, but once I come back, I'm tired again. Since I'm here in the UK, here in London, I constantly struggle with chronic fatigue, tiredness. lack of concentration, focus, brain fog, like hyperactive in the mind, quiet from the outside but hyperactive in the mind, and constantly feeling tired all the time. Yes, I am aware that perhaps the city is not really my natural habitat and I gotta go and find a way to leave that as soon as possible, but at the same time I'm also having my duality and polarity because of my current relationship, and that's exactly why I'm here, and that's why it's not always that easy just to move out of that, and that's why we go through certain lessons in our life. But at the end of the day, you still gotta go and deal with the fact is that when you have moved from another country, when you replant a tree, you take it away from the roots and when you try to plant it somewhere else, the question is, will the roots shoot out into the earth, or will the tree be like a little candle in the wind? Once you blow out, it's gone. That kind of feeling. Meaning is that as a hypersensitive, we do not always feel that grounded within ourselves. And that whole feeling of feeling grounded, it starts off in the gut. Whilst I've been increasing my sensitivity, what I start to notice is that I found it more difficult to process our modern diet. First I got off of the gluten, which is quite hard because you find it everywhere, in everything. You get off the gluten and you try to replace it with gluten-free stuff, gluten-free crackers. And then you start to read, wait a minute, almost everything that we consume contains seed oils, omega-6. And you go further down this rabbit hole of this whole food process, this whole food journey. I started off like we're living like with hunter genes in a farmer society. Farmer society is that we moved away from being a hunter-gatherer, staying at one place, because that's where the community is at, because that's where the farmers are at. Farmers stay at one place. But now our modern way of farming has gone way out of balance. We cannot allow ourselves to suffer from famine. Okay, so what we need to have is a farm that is predictable, and we have to cut off the head of the plants in order to sell it more faster and quicker, and we cannot allow to have any famine or any kind of beast or whatever going on the crops. So what we do is we throw a lot of pesticides on our crops. Now you could say, well, your immune system will sort it out and stuff like that. Well, okay, maybe. But other people will say, well, everything that we're basically consuming doesn't have the nutrition that our body really needs and that our mind really needs and the spirit really needs in order to thrive. So what we do is we survive. Second is that our immune system is just like really, really weak. We have really noticed that over the last couple of years. Luckily for me, I have not been affected with any kind of virus, but still what it does for my mental health and for my mood, especially emotional mood, my emotional mood has been really basically all over the place. When I eat something bad, please stay away because I become the devil. You could ask my relative on how it is like. So I gotta be very, very mindful, very, very conscious of what it is that I put in my body. And I cannot see myself going vegan or vegetarian because I love fish. I love eating fish and I try to eat as light as possible, but still if I eat something with carbs, it will mess me up. It really messed me up and I feel down, I feel depressed almost, and constantly being fatigued. So that's why I'm going to test out this 10-day cleanse. I want to see what it does to me, if I can really see an improvement within myself. Is it really going to energize me, and will this be a complete reset in my lifestyle, a complete reset in my nutrition? That's the question that hopefully I can answer in the next few days. So without no further ado, this is a little bit of my background story. It is really like, hey, I want to go and surround myself in nature, but nature does not exist within me. It does not exist in here. So I feel this constant separation from nature, from the natural world. And that's really what the shamanic journey is also really about, is being able to reconnect with nature, the natural laws and the elements, yet I do not feel that connection, and I want to re-establish and realign with that connection which starts within myself. So I gotta go and find a way to realign my body, my gut, my mental health, emotional health, and my spirit. So without further ado, let's go and check it out what's inside this box. Right, so sorry about that. Sometimes I can get a little bit carried away from what it is that's I'm going through and learning. So let's open up this bad boy. I got my tools for that. A lot of big knives. Cuts for everything. Just arrived this package. Sometimes a little bit nightmare to receive a package while you're living in the UK. Some organizations here, they do not leave the box when you're not at home, and then you have to go to the post office only between 7 and 9 a.m. in the morning. So anyway, it has arrived. So let's open up, let's see what we got. I'm not going very much into detail. That will be something for an upcoming video, so make sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification. So maybe this probably is some booklets. Let's find out. Let's make a mess. So what we got: new member kit, your journey begins. This is awesome. So it's basically a whole welcome pack. We got a book, the Green Foods Bible. If you want to know how to receive this, then please get in touch so I can show you how to get this. And this is basically the whole story. This is the whole founder behind, the person behind this journey, who has been here since the last 25 years. So for me, he really sounded like a very compassionate, heart-based, driven individual going after this journey. Like what we have here on this planet, it's so far out of balance. We are so far out of balance of nature, natural world. We gotta go and change this. It's part of our revolution. That's what I would say. So I can't wait to start reading this. And then what we have, basically for me, it's not for everybody, an whole booklet. So this is something I gotta go through it myself. Very exciting. Transformation Lifestyle Guide. So this is basically explaining the 10-day transformation. Embark on a 10-day vacation from processed foods. What I forgot to say is that what I've noticed within myself is this inflammation in the gut. Constantly feeling bloated and not eating that much, nothing crazy, but constantly feeling bloated. Even when I was like in a CrossFit gym, working out 3 times a week, I would still have that. I would still feel drained and whatever. So it didn't come down to my amount of exercise I was doing. And then basically, we've got another box within a box. Another transformation guide, so this one is double. And this is where it all starts, the Hypocrates power. So this is the whole journey of the green superfood powder. We have a bunch of supplements: cracked cell, chlorella, black walnut plus. We've got ionic elements. And then we have MAP. And these are the amino acids that turn into proteins. And then one last another thing, that is basically what we should be having during the evening before going to sleep. Apple cherry, organic cherry juice concentrate. Alright, so what else I got is basically coming from my health coach directly. And by the way, one of my health coaches. It's actually the certified health god, or Tro Casey. You can go and check him out on his YouTube channel. He has over almost 200,000 subscribers. He has been on this journey for several decades, and the wisdom that he shares, both for our physical health, because our physical body is basically our spiritual spacesuit. We should nurture our body so the consciousness can flourish. I mean, sometimes I like to say is that the gut, it's basically the root of the trees of consciousness. Your tree can grow as far as your roots are grounded in the earth, and that really starts with how do you nurture your first brain, which is of course the gut. So basically what it is you get like a 10-day transformation guide, and it gives you like a preparation, a 10-day transformation cleanse. So what do you do at 8 a.m. in the morning? What do you do at 10, 12, 2, 4, 6 and 8? Which kind of supplements to take, with how much of water, and then what kind of food, because it's also kind of like a fasting. So basically within these 10 days, what you're only allowed to eat are so-called flag foods. So it's free from any kind of bread or gluten or dairy. So it's basically you're only allowed some kind of veggies and fruits. That's gonna be a bit of a thing for me, because in my morning I'm quite used to my coffee. My coffee is basically putting oil in my gut. It's to turn things on, let's say it in that way. So I really got to see how that's going to work out. I'm only taking 2 cups in the morning, and that's it. I'm done. I know my limits, and I don't go over it, because then it's going to give you anxiety. But basically, food is cleansed. You're not even allowed to take coffee. No meat, no fish, no dairy. So you get a whole coaching and support behind everything that you can have and shouldn't have. There are support groups guiding you along this journey. So basically, this is my day number 0. Tomorrow will be my first day. So what I would do is I would document my entire process, my journey. I try to do it as efficient as possible. I really got to see how everything's going to turn out and work out. And then I will take you along this journey to see what it does to me. But what I can say is the last couple of months I've been at a pretty low place. I didn't feel like creating, I didn't feel inspired, non-motivated, I just couldn't be bothered, and I just really wanted to be, distract myself with nonsense, distract myself through escapism, and then you fall out of alignment. And hopefully through this I can get back into alignment with getting back into my creativity and inspiration, and doing things, actually feel productive and satisfied at the end of the day. But first I gotta go and get the right kind of fuel in my body before I hit the throttle. So anyway, I look forward to see you tomorrow, to see you at my day number 1. I will take you along this journey. If successful, I gotta see how things are going to work out, but otherwise we will organize live calls where I can take on one of my health coaches who can perhaps help you as well, getting your questions answered, as he has been on this journey much longer than I am, and what I can only do is share my experience. That's it for now. Alright, make sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification. I will make a playlist. What I also will do is I will make a page where I can leave your name and email address, so over the next couple of days I will send you a reminder through the email, like, hey, I gotta go, a new video, check it out. But also I can send you reminders of when these live calls are going to happen and how you can attend and get your questions answered, to see if this is something that could work out for you as well. Depends on what it is that you're currently at and what you're dealing with and what kind of problems you want to get solved. Alright, Jean-Paul here. Hope this is helpful. See you in the next one. Take care for now. Bye bye.